One of the biggest unwritten rules of modern everyday spoken French is that we almost never use nous when we're talking about a group of people that we're in. We use on instead. Maybe you already know this easy trick to sound more authentically French, but what happens when we start layering grammar rules? For example, when we're using le passé composé, we sometimes have to make le participe passé agree with the subject. But how does that work with on? It is a singular pronoun, but should we use it with a singular or a plural terminaison if we're talking about several people? And what about gender? Does it matter as well? Today we're going to explore all that and more so you can fully master le passé composé in French. Le passé composé is the most common tense in French when we're talking about the past, and it is also very common in pop culture as well. It seems simple enough, but there are several exceptions and extra rules. How does le passé composé actually work in French? In our last lesson, we saw how to choose a past tense in French. Basically, l'imparfait is like the English continuous past for habits and longer actions, with le passé composé as more of the English simple past for some specific shorter actions. For example, je dormais quand tu as appelé. I was sleeping, that's the long action in l'imparfait. Quand tu as appelé, when you called. And this is the short action in le passé composé. As you can see, for appeler and for most other verbs, le passé composé is made of l'auxiliaire avoir and le participe passé. This is why it is called le passé composé, the compound past, because it is made of two parts. For example, j'ai marché, I walked. Repeat after me. J'ai marché. Again, j'ai marché. We also have ils ont mangé, they ate. Repeat after me. Ils ont mangé. Here you can notice that we have a liaison between in and on, and the T in on is silent. Ils ont mangé. Again, ils ont mangé. Good. For all verbs in ER in French, the past participle ends in E. Le E accent aigu, the E sound, like marcher, manger, appeler, and more. Your turn now. What is the past participle for the verb parler, to speak or to talk in French? Parler. And how would you say in French, he spoke? What do you think? Yes, it is parler, as in il a parlé. He spoke or he talked. Il a parlé. Good. Oh, and by the way, let's review the conjugation of avoir, to have, in the French present. It is, you probably know it from school. J'ai, I have. Tu as, you have. Il, elle, or on a. She has, he has, we have. Nous avons, for the real we have. Vous avez, you have. And ils or elles ont, they have. If you want to review the conjugation of the auxiliaries avoir and être in the present, you will find a reminder in my lesson, 7 common French verbs that you need to know, or in the blog post that I wrote for this lesson, where you will find a fully written lesson and extra information in a lesson that you can download for free. It is in the link below the description if you're watching this on YouTube. In this blog post, you will also find a list of common French past participles, because yes, we're talking about French, so the participe passé is only regular for the verbs ending in ER. You will have to learn the rest one by one. I'm sorry about this. This is the French language. It will come with practice and listening to French. Today, let's see a few of them in the masculine singular. For être, it is été. For avoir, it is eu. U, yes, the U sound. Prendre, which means to take, it is pris. Pris with the silent S. For comprendre, comprendre, to understand, it is compris with a silent S as well, compris. And then for lire, To read, lire, it is lu. Lu. Yes, that sounds overwhelming and it is a lot to learn. How would you say I understood? How would you say that? It is j'ai compris with a silent S. J'ai compris. Good. If you watched my lesson a few weeks ago, then you know that I didn't understand is je n'ai pas compris. Je n'ai pas compris. That's a good template for building the negative sentence with le passé composé. We have first the subject, then the ne or the n apostrophe, the auxiliary, the pas, and then the past participle. And remember that in everyday spoken French, we drop the ne in negation. So more often, we're not going to say je n'ai pas compris, we will say j'ai pas compris, j'ai pas compris. It's your turn now. How would you say I didn't read in French? Think about it. Did you get it? Remember that the past participle of lire is lu. Now do you have it? Yes, it is j'ai pas lu. I didn't read in everyday spoken French. J'ai pas lu. J'ai pas lu. I didn't read. Now, instead of avoir, some verbs use the auxiliary être, l'auxiliaire être, and the participe passé to get built. Verbs such as partir, that means to leave, we say il est parti. Il est parti, he left. Or aller, which means to go, il est allé, he went, il est allé. We also have venir for to come, il est venu, or ils sont venus in the plural. And right here, we can see our first additional rule for today, which is with être, the past participle agrees with the subject. Which means, for example, that with the feminine subject, the past participle ends with an extra e, and with the plural you will often add an s at the end. For example, il est allé pêcher. He went fishing. Elle est allée au marché. Then we add an e at the end for she went to the market. Elle est allée au marché. It doesn't change the pronunciation of aller. Nous sommes tombés de vélo. We fell from our bikes. Nous sommes tombés de vélo. Here, tombé has an S at the end. Elles sont tombées amoureuses. They fell in love because here we have a group of women. So it is ES at the end of the past participle. Whew. Your turn now. Using the verb arriver for to arrive. Arriver that also uses the être in the passé composé. How would you say Geraldine and Christina arrived on time? How would you say that? By the way, on time is à l'heure, in case you don't know that in French, à l'heure. So can you do it now? Yes, it is. Géraldine et Christina sont arrivées à l'heure. E-E-S at the end of arriver. Géraldine et Christina sont arrivées à l'heure. We added an E at the end because it is feminine, and we added an S because it is plural. And of course, it is time to explain that a French plural will always become masculine if there is one masculine thing in it. So we would write Michel et Christina sont arrivés. Michel and Christina arrived. Michel and Christina have arrived. Michel et Christina sont arrivés. We have an S at the end because we have Michel, so that makes the group masculine. Or even if we want to make it bigger, 1000 femmes et aussi Michel sont arrivées à Paris. 1,000 women and also Michel have arrived in Paris. As you can see, having just Michel in the group makes the subject masculine. Is it fair? Is this the way it is? I don't know. Just you tell me. Oh, and you probably know the conjugation of être in the present because you've been learning French for years, maybe decades, but just as a reminder, it is je suis for I am, tu es for you are, elle est for she is, nous sommes for we are, vous êtes for you are, and elles sont for they are. Okay, great. We have covered the basics of le passé composé. With what we've seen so far, you can already use le passé composé in your French conversation pretty well. Okay, you might make a few mistakes here and there, but you will be understood, and with practice, you will get much better at it until you are fully confident. And that's fantastic. But, of course, there are some more rules now. For instance, there are a handful of verbs that use both être and avoir with different meanings, but let's put that aside for now. Instead, let's dive deeper into le passé composé with our second special rule. It's also about agreement. It is one that nobody likes to learn, and it is the typical example of the weirdness of the French language. It is, with avoir, the past participle agrees with the direct object when it comes before the verbs. Obviously, this raises a lot of questions, so let's breathe. And let's look at an example. Les pommes, je les ai mangées. The apples, I ate them. Les pommes, je les ai mangées. There is a lot to unpack here. So a direct complement is a complement that comes directly after the verb without a preposition. For example, je mange les pommes. I am eating the apples. Je mange les pommes. There is nothing in the middle. Je mange les pommes. Les pommes is the direct complement of mange. In the passé composé, it makes j'ai mangé les pommes. Easy. I ate the apples. J'ai mangé les pommes. Simple. In this example, we have a simple manger with a et because the complement comes after the verb. It is the simplest form. J'ai mangé les pommes. Easy. Now, if we look at the sentence, je les ai mangées. I ate them. Je les ai mangées. Here, les pommes has been transformed into the pronoun les. Je les ai mangées. Les is the apples, les pommes. Well, according to French grammar, it is still a direct complement, and it comes before the verb est mangé. You remember that? Je les ai mangées, it's before. So that's where our second rule comes into play. The past participle manger must then agree with les pommes. Les pommes is feminine plural, so manger must agree with it and become feminine plural. Une pomme is feminine, les pommes is feminine plural, so manger has an extra S, E for the feminine, S for the plural, so we have je les ai mangées et ES, I ate them. Je les ai mangées. Of course, that one is pretty easy because you don't hear the difference in spoken French. So the rule doesn't impact your conversation for all the verbs in ER in French. But the problem would appear with something like je les ai pris, where les is actually masculine, and je les ai prises, where les is actually feminine. Now, I know that's the whole pattern in your head, but after a while, it is a pattern that you tend to use by intuition most of the time, because all French people struggle with this rule now and then, even me. I struggle with it as well, so don't worry. Let's give it a try. How would you say, I understand her? Here, her becomes la, which becomes la because it's just for a vowel. Yes, did you get it? It is je l'ai comprise, because compris gets an extra e in the feminine since it agrees with her. Je l'ai comprise. I understood her. Je l'ai comprise. Good. That's really the most well-known difficulty with the passé composé, and if you are able to master it, you will really sound like you really know French, even if you make vocabulary mistakes now and then. And now that you're up to speed with the rules of le passé composé, here is a riddle. How do you say we went to the Eiffel Tower in informal French? Would you write on est allé voir la Tour Eiffel or on est allé with an S voir la Tour Eiffel? That's a problem that the students raised up in one of my programs, and I think it is a fascinating question. That's because on is ambiguous. In French, on means someone, often someone we don't know or a general people. As in, aux États-Unis, on apprend parfois le français à l'école. In the US, people sometimes learn French at school. Aux États-Unis, on apprend parfois le français à l'école. But in informal French, it is the way that we say nous for we, nous. We rarely use the conjugation of nous in everyday spoken French. For we like cheese, for instance, we're going to say on aime le fromage, on aime le fromage. Or for we saw the Eiffel Tower, on a vu la Tour Eiffel. On a vu la Tour Eiffel with the on. As you can see here, on uses the conjugation of il or elle, the third person singular. So that's the answer, right? Just use on as il and all is simple. Yes, but for the purpose of agreement in grammar, well, on is just like nous for the informal meaning. So we say on est belle, we are pretty in the feminine, and we say on est beau, we are handsome in the masculine. You can also see that in the passé composé. On est allé voir la Tour Eiffel with the S at the end because it is a group of several people. Or if you're a group of women specifically, on est allé with EES voir la Tour Eiffel. On est allé voir la Tour Eiffel. But when we're using on in the traditional sense of some people or someone we don't know, it does stay in the masculine singular. For example, au Mexique, on est allé très loin dans les décorations de Noël. In Mexico, people went very far into Christmas decorations. Au Mexique, on est allé très loin dans les décorations de Noël. Here, on is some people, people we don't know, so it is singular masculine. I know this is subtle and you will find many mistakes everywhere, including in newspapers. For now, what you can remember is that on is plural when you're thinking about agreement. And if you're trying to use on to mean some people in le passé composé with être and in writing, just try to find another way to say it. Okay, your turn now. How would you write in French, we left on time with on as a group of 3 women? How would you say that? Remember, partir is actually parti. That's the past participle. How would you say it? Yes, it is on est parti à l'heure because we have a group of 3 women. Parti at the end is ES. E because it's feminine and S because it's plural. On est parti à l'heure. Good. Now, it is time for some fun together. Can you spot the mistakes with the verbs in these sentences? Not all are incorrect. Okay, I'm going to read them with the translation and then we're going to analyze one by one. Elle a tombé de sa chaise, for she fell from her chair. J'ai marché très longtemps. I walked for a very long time. Ils ont été très occupés. They've been very busy. Tu as ne pas pris ton cadeau. You didn't take your gift. J'ai vu Martin et Pierre. I saw Martin and Pierre. Elle les a vus de loin. She saw them from afar. Vous êtes venus jusqu'ici pour ça? Did you come this far for this? Okay. Take a moment, look at them. Let's look at them one by one together. The first one, elle a tombé de sa chaise, should be elle est tombée de sa chaise. Because tomber is used with être. So elle est tombée. And we have the subject elle, which is feminine singular, so it should be E at the end of tomber, so it should be elle est tombée de sa chaise. Then the second one should be j'ai marché très longtemps, because it is avoir with je, so the first person of singular, so it is j'ai. J'ai marché très longtemps. The third one, ils ont été très occupés, is fine. It is the past participle of être, été, with the auxiliary avoir. Ils ont été très occupés. This is perfect. Here, the negation is wrong. It should be tu n'as pas pris ton cadeau. Tu n'as pas pris ton cadeau. Remember the structure? Subject plus ne plus auxiliary plus pas plus past participle. Tu n'as pas pris ton cadeau. Often putting the negation in the passé composé can be tricky for students. J'ai vu Martin et Pierre. Here it is the auxiliary avoir with the object after the verb. The object is Martin et Pierre. I saw Martin et Pierre. So there is no agreement because the object is after. It should be j'ai vu Martin et Pierre without an S at the end of vu. But then with elle les a vus de loin, we have avoir as the auxiliary and the direct object is before the verb. Elle les a vus de loin. Les is Martin et Pierre. So it is two people, two men. So vu should agree with that and it comes with an S at the end. Elle les a vus de loin. Elle les a vus de loin with an S at the end of vu. Vous êtes venu pour ça. Did you come this far for this? Here it can be okay depending on the context. Here if we consider that indeed it is Martin and Pierre, it is two men, so it is masculine plural, so venu will take an S. But if we were talking about women, it would be ES at the end. Vous êtes venu jusqu'ici pour ça, it would be ES. But here if we consider it is Martin and Pierre, vous êtes venu jusqu'ici pour ça is perfectly fine. Whew, congratulations, you've reached this far. What a ride we had together with le passé composé. I know this is a lot of information, so feel free to watch the video again, twice, 3 times, take lots of notes. You can also check out my other lessons on this precise topic. This will give you a more rounded view of all the pieces of French grammar. In today's playlist, I am starting with how to choose a past tense in French, how to conjugate l'imparfait, which is very useful, it's the easiest counterpart to le passé composé, and why not learn how to use venir de, which is a possible alternative to le passé composé, with way less rules and exceptions. Just click here on your screen to start watching the next videos. I will see you there. Allez, à tout de suite.